Hello everybody and welcome back to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist as we continue to try and get through this very long year with lots of talking. But I figured that was going to happen eventually, don't you think? Because we have a lot more people that we're on higher friendship with, so that means a lot more talking to a lot more people and a lot more people who need to do a lot more talking as we get through the year with even more talking. But I don't mind. It's actually kind of cool because all of my previous runs have been us focusing pretty much on only one character, so you forget how much content there is with the others until you play through where you're trying to actually talk to everyone. It's interesting, I like it. So let's go talk to people. Again. Vace? Can I help you? You spot Vace running over to Geophonics and hurry to catch up to him. As you approach, you can smell the crackle of ozone from a plast cutter in the air. Vace is standing in the doorway to a shed, firing at something inside. Stupid sonic moths! You peer into the dim shed. There's a pile of smoking Dorps moth corpses on the ground, and one last fluttering frantically in the corner, trying to get out. Vace shoves the plast cutter at you and takes a knife from his belt. Hold the door, Yabby. I'm gonna get this null shit with my bare hands. The fluffy Dorps moth chitters in fear as Vace approaches. It may be a pest, but you get the impression that whatever Vace is going to do to it is going to be downright inhumane. You got it, sir! Oh no, Cal, I'm sorry! Oh man, hang on, I'll give you a cake on your birthday, okay? That'll make up for it. You wield the plast cutter and take position at the door. Vace charges in and grabs the Dorps moth by its whiskers, yanking it to the ground. He steps on its hard carapace and slices off its catfish-like whiskers and then its diaphanous wings. The Dorps moth squeals as it flops around, oozing ichor, and Vace steps back to watch. His expression is cold. Bloody parasites, he mutters. The less of them, the better. You watch the Dorps moth flail its last agonizing minutes until it collapses and goes still. Survival is violence, Vace intones, like he's repeating a mantra. If something might hurt you, you can't give it the chance. This is what people in your colony don't understand. People like Cal, who think that everything can just get along. They're going to get us all killed. You're right, death to the aliens! Vace slaps you on the back. Hoorah, soldier. Don't tell him I'm dating an alien. Nobody tell him. Nemone? Something's off with Nemi today. You can tell just from watching her train that she's moving more slowly and seems distracted. Every so often she breaks form to stare at Vace, who's working with a group of trainees on the other side of the garrison. Her unit leader singles her out and chastises her, gesturing for her to take a break and get her head on straight. Nemi scowls as she slinks over to the rest area, where you hand her a water bottle. Hey you, she says, shooting you a little flicker of a smile as she takes a drink. What's up? Vace isn't talking to me, Nemi replies, sighing heavily as she recaps her water bottle. It's been 2 days, and he just acts like I'm not even here. I've tried to talk to him, and he just says he needs time to think. We got into it about how much time you and I spend together. He thinks you like me, and I told him it's not like that. We're just friends, but... Nemi exhales noisily and scrubs the heel of her palm into her eyes. Maybe the problem is that you're so alike, she says. If I love him... then what's to say I wouldn't feel the same about you? He has a reason not to trust us. He's a scumbag. If I say that, is she gonna get mad at me? Only one way to find out. He's a scumbag, Nemi. Nemi's head whips around towards you, shocked. What? How could you say that, Yabby? Yeah, I know he's good sometimes, but he's still my boyfriend. Ooh, nice. The way he treats you isn't healthy. Nemi's eyebrows furrow. What do you mean, Yabby? Do you like when he accuses you? Nemi frowns. No, obviously. What does that have to do with anything? The problem isn't you, it's him. You tell her she shouldn't have to constantly prove herself to Vace. I've never thought of it that way, Nemi replies. It's like we have this argument all the time. He gets mad because he thinks I was talking to someone too long or because I said something that set him off. And when you talk to him about it, well, he gets really upset that I'm upset with him. And then I have to apologize and reassure him that I love him, and it's always this whole thing. She sighs. I'm just so tired of it, you know? I don't know what else to do. I don't know if there's anything else I can do. Nemi wipes her eyes. I don't know what to think, she says. I'll talk to him about it and see what he says. He deserves a chance to explain himself, but... Her gaze darts back over to Vace. I don't know if he'll be able to. She gives you a quick hug. Thank you for talking to me about this, Yabby. You're my best friend on the whole planet. I hope that'll help. Oh no! On your way to the garrison, you pass by a few young soldiers speaking in hushed tones. They seem to be commiserating over Vace's attitude in training today. Oh boy, you know what this is about. Oh dear. You spot Vace overseeing a group of soldiers navigating an obstacle course. Pick it up, come on, he snaps. You approach carefully, and he acknowledges you with a glance before going back to staring morosely at the trainees. Why so glum, chum? Vace scowls and crosses his arms. Nothing, just a bunch of bullshit. I love bullshit. Vace smirks. Oh no, fucking, I forgot to put it on. Hang on, Vace, hang on. Time travel. Vace smirks and clicks his tongue against his teeth. He's quiet for a bit. Nemi broke it off with me, he says eventually. Told me she didn't think we were a good fit, or some shit like that. That sucks, I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks. Wait, hang on. Am I doing this wrong again? You need therapy. Okay, maybe you should work on your anger issues. Vace frowns at you. I don't have any goddamn anger issues, he scowls. If anything, this colony's too damn soft. You'd all be dead in the dirt by now if it weren't for my anger issues. It's not about fighting, Vace. You tell him it's about how he treats other people. Like how? Vace asks. Like how you control them through fear. Vace's face goes red, and he clenches his fists. You can't trust anyone, he says, baring his teeth. Eventually, either everyone will hurt you, or you die before they can. Like Nemi. Like your dad? Screw you, Vace chokes out. Coming in here bloody psychoanalyzing me, kicking me when I'm down. Who the shit do you think you are? I'm someone who cares about you, Vace. Vace's stern expression collapses, and he turns back to watch the trainees. I don't need anyone to care about me, he manages. I'm a hero, he says, pulling himself to his full height. I don't need you to protect me. Just think on it, okay? Nomi! You're about to challenge Nomi to a game of Laser Fable, but you notice that they seem kind of down today. When you ask what's up, they just sigh and scruff their feet in the dirt. Yabi, what do you want to be when you grow up? A hero or an explorer. Wow, it's so cool you already know what you want to do, Nomi says, in awe. What's that like? I've been thinking about what I want to do with my life, but now I just don't know, Nomi says, pouting a little. I thought that being here would mean I could find something I'm good at, but everything I try just sucks. It's boring and I'm not good at anything except drawing and writing. Before we landed on Fortuna, I thought I'd end up doing whatever was assigned to me, Nomi continues. We had this duty roster, right? And I figured I would keep working in the canteen and then I could spend the rest of the time playing holo games and making up stories. They frown. I peeled a lot of potatoes. But since we landed here, I've been talking with Mars, and she's really serious about the idea that any colony worth living needs to have artists and writers like me. They touched their fingertips together. So I was thinking, what if I really did follow my dreams? Nomi perks up a little just thinking about it. I could be a comic artist, or a holo game designer, or a writer. Oh, I could be anything as long as I get stuff to make stuff that people like. What do you think, Yabi? The colony needs people like that. Do you really think so? Nomi exclaims, holding their hands to their cheeks and popping one foot off the ground. Oh, I'm so happy! Did you know that in ancient times, there used to be people called bards whose only job was to tell stories? They continue. That sounds like the best thing ever! Toss a coin! Toss a coin. Tammy is sweeping the front stoop of the lounge, humming a little song to herself. As you approach, you see her stand up straighter and rub her back. Now that you know, it's clear she's pregnant. You wonder how you didn't catch on before Virtunalia. It's so mind-blowing that she's going to have a baby. The first child born from someone who themselves was born in space. It's hard to believe she's only 1 year older than you. Little Tammy, who cries when toys break and is scared to leave the walls. She's going to be a mom. Tammy looks up as you approach and smiles. Hello, Yavi. It's so nice out today, don't you think? She always thinks it's a nice day, even when it's pouring rain. It must be so nice to be so cheerful all the time. You look beautiful. She smiles and goes a pretty shade of pink. Thank you, Yavi. That's so sweet. She does seem more centered and confident than you've ever known her to be. It radiates off of her like a warm, glowing sun. When Lum had her up on stage, embarrassed in front of the whole colony, you kept thinking, wow, Tammy's really grown up now. Tammy leans on her broom with a dreamy smile. I thought about it for a long time. And talked to Aunt Anne and Dr. Instance and my dad, she says. I've always known I've wanted children. She giggles in thought. Lots of them. So why not get started now? Aunt Anne and I are going to run the new creche, so I'll have plenty of help raising them, the same way I was raised, she adds. I might not be the strongest or smartest person in the colony, but I'm going to be the best mom. I know I can do this. Do you ever want kids, Yabi? One or two, maybe. Tammy smiles indulgently. That's nice, Yabby. I can't wait to see them in the creche. Tammy goes back to sweeping the stoop, adding little snippets of lyrics to her made-up song. Can you imagine what a gardener human baby would be like? Can that even happen? 91, 100, 191, 88. I'm gonna go and survey the plains, just because I can get more stuff out there, and also I want to see if anyone wants to talk to me. I want to talk. What's up? You meet up with Dees and Nomi. Utopia assigned the two of them to study a specific plant, blobgrass. The sticky, gelatinous fronds are almost totally transparent, especially dangerous when they form rafts over water, like this particular patch. Dees and Nomi are perched on top of the rocks by the shoreline, bonding over their love of exploring. They're an odd match. Dees is shy and withdrawn, and Nomi is very not. As you approach, you hear Dees giggling over Nomi's impression of Chief Administrator Seek. Nomi's eyes go wide when they see you, and they lose their footing on the slippery rocks. Hey, whoa! They exclaim, falling into knee-deep, gloopy puddles of blobgrass. The stuff is so sticky, it floats like rafts of goo on the shallow water, trapping animals underneath it. Nomi's too big to be in danger, but they're still stuck. Try to help. Nobody inevitably pulls you in, and you get all goopy, too. It's a big, sticky mess. You're naturally a little embarrassed by this clumsy rescue attempt, but Nomi is not. Come on in, Dees, they laugh. The water's fine. Dees declines their generous invitation, grimacing as Nomi flecks him with goopy water as you both flounder to the shore. Nomi just laughs and brushes themselves off. Not that it helps, they're totally soaked. I don't get it, Dees mutters. How do you do that? Just be weird and mess things up, but not feel like you want to crawl in a hole and die from embarrassment. Now Nomi blushes. I guess I don't always know when I should be embarrassed, they reply. I mean, I already know I'm stupid and uncoordinated and bad at basically everything. They shrug. I don't know, I guess it doesn't bother me if other people think that too. Like, they can't make fun of me for something that's just true, right? Dee stares at Nomi for a few seconds. I never thought about it like that, he says slowly. He takes a cloth out of his backpack. Here, he says, offering it to Nomi. For your face. You're all goopy. Nomi giggles, and they share a moment of intense eye contact as Dees gently blots water from Nomi's face. Sorry, Dees. I want the friendship point. You feel a bit jealous and left out. You butt in between them, offering Nomi your towel. Oh, thanks, Yabby, Nomi chirps. Having two towels is better than one, I guess. Just like having friends. Dees steps back, clearly annoyed. Dees, I'm sorry. I need them to be my friend. I'll take all the friendship points I can get. Alright, it's Cal's birthday, so now I can make up for what I did. Here you go, a cake. Oh, baby. Oh! It's hot and humid inside the geophonics bay, making your clothes stick to your skin as you look around for Cal. Eventually you see him, his back turned to you as he lifts a bag of fertilizer into a wheelbarrow. You call out to him as you approach, and he turns to you with a beaming smile. Yabby, he greets you. I was hoping I would see you today. As you open your mouth to respond, you hear a quiet crack and a hiss from nearby. Oh, but watch out, Cal says, stepping in between you and what you realize too late is a humidity sprinkler. Cal laughs as he's blasted by a cloud of mist. For one perfect moment, he looks as if he's been outlined with 1,000 rainbows. Aw, dip, Cal whines, smiling as he shakes out his hair and flips it back over his shoulder. I should've let you take that one, but your clothes would have gotten wet. He stands up straighter as your gaze passes over his body. He's really grown into himself is the thing. Before your eyes, a droplet of water bravely winds its way from the rise of his chest down to the rippling muscles of his abdomen, to where it disappears into the shirt tied around his waist. Cal tilts his head, his smile turning a little teasing. He flexes his biceps at you. Caught you looking. I'm gonna take my shirt off. Cal laughs and jokingly covers his eyes as you take off your own shirt. You twirl it around your finger and launch it at his face. Ugh, Cal whines, throwing your shirt back at you. Regular people are so sweaty. How can you stand being wet all the time? Cal puts his hands on his hips and flexes you with a cocky grin. I'm always the right temperature thanks to my enhancement. I don't even need to sweat. You should try it sometime, bruh. Get on my level. You spend an enjoyable afternoon helping Cal deliver bags of fertilizer to every corner of the hydroponics bay. When the job's done, he claps you on the back. Ooh, he's as strong as he looks. Cal chatters to you about his plans for the rest of the week as you leave the hydroponics lab. The relatively cooler, drier Vertumna air hits you like a slap, but of course Cal doesn't look bothered at all. Race you to the cafeteria, he teases you, before taking off down the path. You yell and run after him, causing a ruckus that makes a few adults shake their heads fondly as you tear through the colony side by side. Speaking of Cal, I might as well go in here because I want to get us our animal. We need the unicorn one. I forgot the name of it. So we'll do this. You meet your dad by the animal pens, fresh and ready for your first day at your new job. Your dad laughs at your clean clothes and your scrubbed face. Oh, Pumpkin, I'm sorry to tell you that you're a little overdressed for the position, he chuckles. You're gonna get dirtier than all heck today. Go on, put on those overalls and let's get to work. You change and follow your dad to the float cow pens. He rubs their noses and points out their names. I know they're cute, but these ladies aren't pets, he says. They're livestock, and more than that, they're not really domesticated like our animals back on Earth. They're more like tame. We give all the animals lots of room to roam, and we feed them well. They're not going to get chased down and eaten by bigger animals, and we help them if they're sick. It's a pretty good deal, I think, but they're still pretty wild, he says. You gotta be careful with them. He leans his elbow on the fence. We're pretty lucky that Vertumna has herd animals. Makes it a little easier. We'll probably have real domestic animals in a couple 100 years. Well, kiddo, your dad says, spreading his arms out. We got all these animals. What do you want to learn about first? The bristle slugs! Oh yeah, we got a ton of them, he says. They're great, slow and easy to catch, and real gentle. Don't let the spikes fool you. They're actually really cuddly, and don't mind it when you pet them. It actually helps them. In the wild, they'd be scratching up on all sorts of things to knock off those itchy berries. He scrunches up his nose. They're not really berries. They're more like eggs? Well, they're like berries, though, because they're sweet. And you know what? Never mind, Vertumnan animals are pretty weird. The float cows! Your dad gestures at the herd of float cows. Here they are, beautiful, aren't they? And pretty gross. You don't want to know where they make their milk, but I'll give you a hint. It's not dairy. He laughs at your wrinkled nose. It's not any weirder than when people used to drink cow's milk. I mean, who's the first guy who decided to do that? We figured it out that if we keep feeding them what they'd eat during pollen, they keep making milk year-round, he continues proudly. Makes them heavy enough that they don't float away. Otherwise we'd have to keep them on leads, like balloons. My Unisar! Your dad whistles. Yeah, that thing. We're not really sure what to do about it, honestly. People don't really domesticate carnivores on purpose, he says, because you have to raise their prey, too, and it takes a lot of food to keep a carnivore happy, and you have to keep a Unisar happy. They get really dangerous when they're hungry. It sure is pretty, though, he continues. Maybe the horn could be useful for something. Honestly, it's more of a pet than a farm animal. Maybe we should train it to guard the colony. We're still figuring it out. Sugar bugs! Your dad takes you to the row of crates where the soft, squishy sugar bugs are all clumped together in the moist muck. These guys are pretty cool, he says, picking one up. It perfectly fits in his palm. They're a colony like us, and if you tickle them, you get... He brushes his fingertip along the top of the sugar bug, and a little jet of gooey stuff comes out. Sugar bug syrup, he says. Pretty neat, right? The Trippets! No joke, we thought these guys were just plants for the first couple years, your dad says. We transplanted them from the wild into the greenhouses, but I guess that was just part of their life cycle, because it turns out they're sentient and can move around and stuff. But we moved them out of the greenhouses and into the barn. But we really don't treat them differently. They still mostly just sit there. Alright, let's get started. Great, your dad says, clapping you on the back. That's the kind of energy I want to see around here. We need someone to muck out the float cow stables. They might float, but their poop sure doesn't. He hands you a shovel. Have fun. Thanks, Dad. You should probably do something about the Unisar you captured, seeing as it's eating its way through everything. It doesn't actually produce any food, and the other ranchers are starting to get annoyed by its attitude, like how it knows something they don't. It's creepy. You figure you may as well try to get it used to taking on a rider. If people could ride Unisars around, that would be pretty useful, especially when the robots and vehicles start breaking down. You bring it outside. It stares at you with its eerily intelligent eyes as you approach with the saddle, and only shimmies a little as you strap it onto its back. You brace yourself and hop on. Ride that Unisar! The Unisar takes off at a run, ducking and weaving as it tries to throw you off. You get down low in the saddle and wrap your arms around its neck. The Unisar is an unusually intelligent animal. You can sense it trying to figure out how to throw you, or just make it too uncomfortable for you to hang on. It slams its body against the walls of the pen, trying to snap your legs. When that doesn't work, it tries rearing up on its hind legs or reaching back to scratch you with its hand-like paws. It tosses its head to try and gouge you with its horn. It's uncomfortable, but you're no stranger to discomfort, and you're not going to let this Unisar dominate you. You hang on until the Unisar stops fighting, its great sides heaving under your legs. You pat its scaly neck, and it tosses its head like it's sighing. You get the sense that you haven't really broken it, more than you've just convinced it that you'll be less of a hassle if it just plays along. Success! You convince her to let you ride her now. Oh yeah, now that you can get her to stand still long enough to check, you determine the Unisaur is female. What do you name your magnificent beast? Shiny Shimmer... Pretty... Shiny Shimmer Pretty Pony. Okay, Shiny Shimmer Pretty it is. Oh, only Shiny Shimmer Pretty? I put Shiny Shimmer Pretty Pony. I guess that's a little too long. It sounds like a product. Buy your children Shiny Shimmer Pretty Pony today. It's what all the kids want. It'll murder you in your sleep. Look at my pets. My army. It's growing again. Ooh. Oh. You find Mars going through old holo photos from when you were all kids aboard the Stratospheric. She gives you a sad little smile and pats the couch next to her. Come look through photos with me, she says. I forgot about some of these. Mars brings them a picture of Nemi and Cal, both from when they were probably 4 or 5 years old. They're both stripped down to just their pants, and have painted monster faces on their chests and are standing on top of the table in the creche, waving swords above their heads. You remember that table being a fort, a pirate ship, a haunted house, and a jungle cave, depending on the day. Look at them, Mars says, smiling. They used to be the best of friends, right? Whenever you saw one, the other one was always tagging along behind them. She sighs. It's just so weird that they, never talk to each other anymore. I mean, I get it. Anemone got all weird about being a soldier after her brother died, and Cal really doubled down on the whole hippie aesthetic. Yeah, it's sad that they grew apart. Mars hums non-comedically and goes to the next image. Tammy's gentle face smiles back at you. She's in the ship's galley, learning how to make soy sweets from antecedent. She's wearing an apron, but almost all of her is covered in different colored powders used for flavoring and coloring the sweets. Even the tips of her pointed ears are dusted with it. Oh, Mars sighs. Look at this one. I can't believe Tammy's going to be a mom soon, Mars continues. She'll always be the shy little girl to me, you know? Mars touches the screen fondly. I'm glad she has Cal to help out. They're going to be great parents. You just know it. I don't know what we'd do without her. Mars taps through some more photos, pursing her lips. I swear there's at least one picture of Deese in here, she mutters. It takes almost a minute, but she finally finds one. Tang and Deese's joint 5th birthday party, complete with matching soy cakes. Their mother, Besk, is just out of frame, a drink in her hands. Oh, this was just before Deese got all weird about his birthday, Mars hums. Still have no idea what happened there. I mean, who doesn't like birthdays? It's weird to see them so happy together, she continues. I can't remember the last time I saw either of them really smile like that. Mars sighs. And now Tang spends all her time cooped up in engineering, and Deese spends more time outside the colony than he spends in it. It's just so sad. Mars stares down at the little hologram in her hand. I didn't mean to bully him so much, she admits softly. I thought I was helping him learn how to fit in, like toughening him up a little so he didn't cry so much, you know? Her mouth twitches with a sad smile, but I guess I ended up just pushing him farther away. When I was little, I didn't understand that words could hurt people, because they don't hurt me. You could have been nicer to him. Mars sits back and sighs. That's true. Aww. It's weird looking back on when we used to be kids, Mars muses. We were so innocent. We had no idea about the wormhole or Vertumna. No dying, no famine, no killer pollen, no animal attacks. I mean, we didn't even have bad weather on the ship. All we cared about was playing and popularity. Mars gestures to herself. Now look at me. I'm working on the bridge, and you know it's all politics. It's like a professional popularity contest. Lum is an idiot, but he's got one thing going for him. Mars laughs. The man has an absolutely impeccable social media game. If nothing else, he knows how to get people to vote for him. Really, that's all you need. Mars leans over and rests her head on your shoulder. Her hair smells like jasmine. Thank you for going through these pictures with me, she says quietly. I try to keep my eyes on the future, but sometimes it's nice to remember where you came from. Aw, that's one of the sweetest moments. Because not only do you get to see how young everyone was and how much time has passed, but you get to see how much Mars has changed too. From being a little jerk to everyone and being a bossy little brat, and then realizing how she treated Deese and feeling bad about it, and feeling bad about how everything has changed and not for the better. I mean, some things did change for the better, but not everything. That's definitely true. Hello! You spot Rex sitting on the second floor of an unfinished building, his feet dangling over the edge. He waves at you and gestures you to come sit next to him. Hey, Abby, he says, shooting you a tight smile before looking back over the rest of the colony. From here, you can see the garrison's soldiers marching in formation, with Vace at the head. Rex watches them with an uneasy expression. Why the hangdog expression? Rex musters up another smile. That's a good one, he says. You always know how to brighten my day. You have one more surprise up your sleeve, though. You open your bag and pull out the dust melon you've lugged over from the canteen. Rex brightens and makes grabby motions with his hands. Yes, he exclaims, my hero. Rex tears into the soft rind of the melon with fingers and splits it between the two of you. You sit together and watch Vace bark orders at the other young soldiers. What a bunch of mindless drones. Not all of them, Rex says. Some of them are pretty nice, but everyone on the Helio listens to Vace, you know? And he doesn't like me, so that means I've always been an outsider, whether I wanted it or not. They're friendly to me, I guess, but it's not the same as having friends. Not like you or know me. It's fine, though, he says, shrugging dismissively. You don't have to like someone to hook up with them. I kinda like being the one everyone comes to if they just want to have a good time. What's the deal with you and Vace? Rex's mouth twists, and he spits a dust melon seed over the edge of the building. It's kind of a long story, and not a fun one, he says, avoiding your gaze. I'd rather not drag it up again, honestly. Can you give me the short version? Rex frowns and scratches his nose, still looking out at the assembled garrison soldiers. The short version is that Vace isn't really the hero he tells everyone he is, he says softly. He's just a bully. Everyone acts like they like him, but they're just afraid of what he'll do if they step out of line. That's the impression I get, too. Rex nods with the slow acceptance of someone who's long made peace with their situation. Yeah, it sucks, he agrees. It's just... Vace wasn't always like this, Rex says. He used to be kinda like me. A small weird kid with a chip on his shoulder who just really wanted people to respect him. He runs his fingertips thoughtfully over his left forearm, where a gnarled scar winds over the bone. Well, he got it, Rex continues. He looks like he might say more, but he goes quiet for a few long seconds instead. I wish it was different, he says eventually. I wish he was different. We could have been friends, maybe. He squeezes your hand. Thanks for listening, Yabby. Rex straightens and puts on a happier face. I don't want to waste my day thinking about Vace, though, he says firmly. Not when there's friends to talk to, and a whole world to explore, and dust melon to eat. He spits off another segment of dust melon and eats it with gusto, laughing as the juice dribbles onto his mostly bare chest. And that's to have, I guess. He giggles, wiping the juice and licking it off his fingers, seemingly without a care in the world. Ooh. Oh dang, I clicked wrong person. Here we go. You catch Vace outside the garrison, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed. He looks put out by something and frowns at you instead of his usual hello. What's on your mind? Have you ever looked around the colony these days? Vace sneers. Cowards, pacifists, politicians, hollow jockeys, degenerates. The other people you hang around with are goddamn losers, man. I'm sick of defending you to the other Helios for your shitty taste in friends. You're right, everyone else here sucks. Damn right, Vace, he says. You're bloody lucky to have a friend like me, you get it? He pushes himself off the wall and loops his arm around your neck. Who else looks out for you like I do, huh? Huh? Have I ever seen that before? Or should I yell at him? I don't think that'll work, but I kind of want to check it out. Let's see. You can't pick my friends, Vace. Oh, dang it. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to do the other one, even though I don't agree with it. I should have known he wouldn't like me disagreeing with him. It's almost like his last girlfriend broke up with him for that or something. You're right, Vace. Oh my god, you're so amazing. Alright, let's go in here. I'm gonna do some photophoner. And hopefully that'll help us unlock the barista-ing, because I really want to do that. Yes! The new bar that Rex built is lovely at night, and during the day it's a nice quiet space to sit and work or study. You meet Dr. Instance there, drinking a cup of blep tea and looking through a schedule on her holopalm. She runs a hand through her hair and mumbles, "The stress in this colony is out of control." Yeah, you're telling me. You'd think she's just talking to herself until she looks up. Every day, more people come to the med bay just looking for someone to talk about their anxiety or their bad day. I don't have time for this. I could be a counselor. Oh, definitely not, she grimaces. That takes years of training, and even then, the toll it took on Counselor Besk. We didn't know that the burden was killing her. Decent tangent don't have a mother, just because people couldn't... Dr. Instance catches herself, realizing with alarm what she just said out loud. I shouldn't have said that, she admits. The stress must be getting to me too. Dr. Instance turns to consider you. It's true that you are good with people, Yabby. You know what we really need is a good barista. Make tea by day, serve alcohol by night, and listen to people who need someone to talk to. If you want the job, just walk to the other side of this bar and start making tea. God knows the kitchen couldn't brew a decent blep tea if life depended on it. She makes a face at her cup and pushes it away. So, what's your damage? Instincts gives you a stony look. I'm afraid my secrets died with Besk. Focus on other people. It's a better use of your time. Alright, well maybe just don't take it out on Tang, okay? Nice! Ooh, that might be good. More creativity, please. I'm gonna do it. And let's see. Let's get rid of this for now. Actually, Alright, let's keep that. Get rid of that. And then, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. There we go. Look at that creativity. 74. Oh, can I? No, wait, it's 80. Oh, it's 80. To get to do the other thing with Nomi. Alright, well, we'll work in the cafe and we'll deal with that. I'll probably work in the cafe the next 2 times because Rex is currently the lowest. And then we can do more engineering next year with Nomi. God, we only have a limited amount of time left to get everybody up to as high as they can go. I think we can get all of the Strato people all the way up. It's just the Helios that are our main backdrops. But they're all only like 30 away, so if we could just keep it up. Keep it up! Let's work in the cafe. You report to the cafe for your first shift as a barista, expecting to be shown how to, well, do anything. What you're met with instead is a crowd of people who'd like their blep tea and they'd like it now. You barely know how to pour water. This isn't going to go well. You sit up behind the bar and start taking orders. After a few false starts, you quickly figure out how to brew blep tea and pour the lightly fermented potato juice so it doesn't form a head. Foaming soy or float cow milk for the perfect latte is still a disaster, though. Most people are understanding and are happy to order a different drink while you're learning, but by midday you realize your tip jar is completely empty. The people want lattes, take chances, and make mistakes. That's all what learning is about. And this time nobody's dead because of my mistakes. I will save that one. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. You scald some soy milk, but after a while you begin to get the hang of it. You start slinging lattes to the grateful, caffeinated masses. Chief Engineer Instance comes by to see how you're doing, and you tell her that you're actually totally underwater. Weren't you supposed to get some kind of on-the-job training? For what? Instance laughs. It's pouring drinks, not genetic engineering. I told you you'd get the hang of it. She takes a sip of her blep tea. See? She says. Anyone could do it. Even you. You think she's trying to be encouraging. Well, it didn't work. I feel bad. You roasted me. Just like I roasted that soy milk. Roasted? I can't speak. Oh, working in the cafe gets friendship with Tangent, not with Rex? What? I did not realize that. Why with Tangent? Alright, well, let's at least do one more thing with Rex, because I didn't realize that. In construction. Or we could always... Nah, we'll construction. As Chief Administrator Seek, the unofficial heads of the construction... After Chief Administrator Seek, the unofficial heads of the construction crew are Aluminum and Burnish, Mars's dads. You don't know them very well, but they're great supervisors. Honest, friendly, straightforward guys with wide shoulders, strong backs, and soft hearts. They're really nothing like Mars at all. How did that happen? You're working with them while they tear down the internal walls of the heliopods, scoring edges carefully with plas cutters, then using sledgehammers to knock great sheets of metal free. What are we using these sheets for? Reinforcing the garrison and other new buildings, Al replies, wiping his forehead with the back of his hairy arm. The plas cutters really crank up the heat in these small metal rooms. All these bulkheads and hallways were important safety features in space, Bernie adds. You don't want to explosively decompress the whole ship, you know, but here on Vertumno we have different needs. Can't we just mine more metal? Sure, Burnish laughs. Just go ahead and get out there with a pick and... Bernie, Al chides him and turns to you.
We're a long way from being able to mine and smelt here on Vertumna, if we do at all. Mining is extremely destructive. We need to reuse what we have here first.
Why can't we just nanoprint what we need?
Nanoprinting can't make what we don't have, Al replies. It can only recombine existing molecules. When you think about it, we have a pretty finite amount of most elements on the periodic table. Well, Bernie adds, not unless we get out there and start stripping them from Vertumnan sources. We already have log mushwood for construction, but only because we have to. Finding things like iron and aluminum is a little beyond our capabilities. What are you talking about, Bernie? Aluminum replies, I'm right here. Dad jokes, run!
You're learning a lot while working with Al and Bernie. They look like big tough guys, but like most people in the colony, they really care about sustainability and doing the right thing. And they love to talk while they work, and no shortage of gossips about the other adults. Ah, that's where Mars gets it from. If you keep your ears open, you're going to learn more here than just how to smash stuff and nail it back together. Big brain work. Let's see. Oh, Vace. Just realized that. There we go. Good enough. Here we are. You're just putting on your boots to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony's sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Ugh, they couldn't have waited until you ate dinner? Rude. You open outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. Your holopalm chimes with the usual reminders for all civilians colonists to stay indoors. This is the siege, so we can get friendship with our friends, so we're sheltering. Governor Lum is so confident in the colony's defenses these days that there aren't even designated emergency shelters, so your room is the safest place to be. You post up in your bed and scroll through Congruence's media library, intending to wait out the attack here. You wait a long time. The sounds of fighting don't cease for hours, long past dinner time and well into the evening, and even past the usual changing of the guard. From your window, you can see blast rifle fire atop the walls and the steady pew-pew-pew of the laser turrets, bright flashes fighting back the gloom of glow. You want to stay up, but eventually it gets so late that you force yourself to sleep. After a fretful rest, you wake up to the realization that the colony is still under attack. In the perpetual twilight of glow, it's hard to tell time, but your growling stomach knows it's well past breakfast, and you missed dinner last night. While you're deciding what to do, your holopalm chimes with a priority video announcement. Governor Lum appears on your holopalm, looking surprisingly well-groomed. Good morning, Vertumna, he says with a calm smile. As you know, the colony is still engaged in battle against the alien threat. The walls are holding strong, and our soldiers keep mowing those Xenos down, but there's no sign of stopping yet. All non-combat personnel are to continue to shelter in place, while our brave soldiers defend the colony. Non-essential work is suspended. Meals and other supplies will be brought door to door. He clenches his fist. Stay strong, Vertumna. We'll weather this siege together. As he signs off, the colony's social media lights up with conversation. Mars and Nomi are excited to skip work and watch holovids. Tangent is frustrated she can't go to the lab and concerned for her experiments. Cal's worried about the fields. Only Vace and Nemi are silent, probably because they're still out there fighting. In the permanent dusk of glow, the days seem to drag on forever. Again, you have to force yourself to sleep with the sound of gunfire drifting through your windows. When you wake up the next morning, you realize you can't stomach another day of being cooped up in your room. Your anxiety has congealed into boredom. Nemi and Vace are either fighting or sleeping, and you haven't heard from Dees in days. You bet your other friends would appreciate a visit, though. Rex and Nomi. Nice. Rex and Nomi are holed up in Rex's room, looking perfectly comfortable being cooped up in small quarters together. It's just like being in space, Nomi says, snipping at a bit of folded-up paper. We're not used to all this wide-open space, you know? If you're bored on a spaceship, you can only move from one tiny room to another tiny room. You have to learn how to make it fun wherever you are. They open up the folded paper, creating a chain of paper figures all connected together at the hands and feet. Rex is puzzling over building some kind of birdhouse for a very big bird. He lays down a line of glue and presses roof piece onto the walls. Honestly, it's nice to have a day off, he says. I've been meaning to build the Xeno house for a month, but the construction crew's been working non-stop. You help Rex with the Xeno house and listen to Nomi chatter away. They're so calm. Maybe this siege isn't so bad after all. 4 more days pass. You and your friends remain trapped indoors, forced to listen to the constant sounds of laser fire and rattling turrets from all around the colony. The Xenos never manage to breach the walls, but they just keep coming. Exhausted guards cycle on and off the walls in shifts, dead-eyed and listless. You catch a glimpse of Nemi mechanically shoveling soy porridge in her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you hear a curious sound. Silence. You run out into the colony square to see the soldiers returning from their posts. It's over. Your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Lum.
The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege is ended. Lum smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, humanity. You're welcome, you hear, and see Chief Red nearby looking livid. What did he do? He rants to his security officers, race out there like an idiot with his honor guard, defend strategically on sound positions, put himself in danger so he had to save his overstuffed ass. The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually needed him, Rhett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Lum. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing xenocourses for their component molecules. At night, you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, and the ozone crackle fire blast rifle arcing overhead. With your talon claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it into your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't find sleep again before daybreak. What a dream. And what a year. We got a lot done this year. Look at all that friendship. Dang, oh dang, we only have 2 years left. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? And this is the year, oh, more talking. And this is the year where we will take things over. Where we will help with Mars's very important taking over, the coup, if you will. But we're going to have to worry about all that next time, and we're going to have to worry about raising friendship next time. We're so close to having everyone to 100. I think we can do it. We just need to be a little more stubborn about it. But until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourselves, visit your friends during a siege, but don't actually do that. I do not condone. Have a good day.